Hello, my name is Mark, and today we're going to be going over some number sequence questions. This is part of the Continuing Education, Algebra and Functions Practice Problems lessons. I do have a playlist of problems you could practice for the IBEW math portion of the aptitude test, or to just create a foundation for any math portion test that you have to take. I did have someone in my comments of the practice test tell me that, or just tell everyone, that their tests in particular had lots of number sequence problems. So here we go. Here we are, and we're going to go over many number sequence problems for you guys. So I ensure you will be armed and ready and confident on test day. So here we go. Steps for solving sequence problems. Look for a pattern between terms, identify the operation, and apply the same rule. I have these in my practice test, and the things to look out for: square numbers and cube numbers. So square numbers include, like, for example, 2, 2, and this is an exponent, okay? 2, 3. This is an exponent. 2 and 4, okay? And all this means is when you have 2 by the power of 2, or 2 squared, all that means is 2 times 2, and that equals 4. And 2 cubed, or 2 to the power of 3, is 2 times 2 times 2, equaling, so we would do 2 times 4, that equals, or I'm sorry, went ahead of myself, 2 times 2 equaling 4, and then 4 times 2 equaling 8. So that is 2 cubed, or 2 to the power of 3. Then we have 2 to the power of 4. There's no name for this. So what we would do is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. And that is our answer for 2 to the 4th power. So you need to know these, okay? Or at least just know how to do them, okay? So when you see them, you will be ready. For example, let's go over 2 to the power of 5. 2 to the power of 5. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? And I'm going to do it like this. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times this 2 is 8. 8 times this 2 is 16. And then 16 times this 2 is 32. Okay, perfect. You're going to have other ones that you're going to encounter, like 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared. You need to know those. Those are basic algebra. Things also to look out for: the pattern after the initial operation between the first two terms. This will make sense once I do a problem like this, work out a problem. Make sure you have these down. Just remember this as we are working out the next problems, or the problems that we will be doing. Yes. Okay. All right, here we go. Question 1. What is the next number in the following series of numbers? So we have 7, 11, 15, and 19. I'm going to do this slowly, okay? But this is an easy question, and you will have to do this fast. So first thing I would do, no matter what, because we're going to have a screen in front of us when you're taking the tests. I'm not sure, maybe you'll have a written test, a written exam. But when I did the aptitude test, it was a computer. There was a computer screen. It was all electronic. And it's better when I just write everything down. They're going to give you some scratch paper, and again, write everything down. So we have 7, 11, 15, and 19. So step 1, look for a pattern between two terms. Okay, so what I would do is just find the difference, or find what number plus or minus to get to this number. For example, let's just do 7 to 11. What do I have to do? What operation do I have to do to get to 11? And that is plus 4. Okay, we're finding the differences between each term. 11 and 15, that's plus 4 again. And then 15 to 19, that's plus 4. In our next term, plus 4, because we see here that there's a pattern. It's plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Now our next number is 19 plus 4 equaling 23. There you go. The answer is B. That one was an easy one. That most certainly, most likely, will not be on the test. It could be though, but I do believe they've increased the difficulty on the aptitude test. So this is just to get you guys confident. I don't even know why I'm erasing. Anyway, it's 23. Question 2. Again, what would I do first? I would write everything down. 3, 9, 27, 81. So for this problem, I'll work out the problem in orange. So 3 to 9, how do I get there? Okay. That is times 3. 9 to 27 times 3. My gosh, sorry. Times 3. And then 27 to 81 times 3. And then we see that the pattern is we multiply each term by 3, the next term by 3. Okay. Times 3. What is 81 times 3? I don't know that one off the dome. Okay, so this is me on the test. Like, sometimes I do this. Most times I do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's 243. So there you go. It's A. You might make a mistake here, right? And do this instead. You write everything down, 3, 9, 27, 81. And then you're like, okay, let me just 3 to 9, that's plus 6. 9 to 27, that's plus 18. 27 to 81, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do some big numbers, big math there. And yeah, then you'll just figure out, okay, this is wrong. Let me just multiply everything by 3. Or what you can figure out, and this is like adding an extra step for no reason. It's you have these terms, right? 3 to 9 is plus 6. Then you have 9 to 27, which is plus 18. And then you go deal with the differences underneath. What is 81 to 27? Let me just break out my calculator for this one. 81 minus 27, that's 54, right? So you go plus 54. And then this is unnecessary, okay? But then you find the differences among the differences, right? So then 6 to 18, that's times 3. 6 to 18, that's times 3, right? 18 to 54, is that times 3 too? 18 times 3, yeah, 54. Okay, yeah, it's times 3. And then you would do 54 times 3. 54 times 3 is 162. I'm going to rewrite everything at the top here. It's going to make sense, but this is an extra step and it's unnecessary. Extra step, and it's unnecessary. 3, 9, 27, 81, and we want to figure out this. And then what's 162 plus 81? Let's pretend like we didn't have a calculator and just do the math. We go 162, 81 plus, that's 3, that's 4, 1, 243, and you get the same answer. You could do it that way, but it's longer, okay? You just figure out from the get-go that it's multiplied by 3 between each term. So much easier that way. Okay, what is the next number in the following series of numbers? So again, what would we do? We would first, guys, what we would do first, because you are watching, is screenshot this. Screenshot, pause me, and then work out the problem yourself. So you can get the same answer as me. Okay? Because if you're just watching me do the problem, you're not going to learn. You need to pause me. You need to try it out yourself. And then afterwards, we can go over it together. Okay. So we have 5. We have 10. We have 8. We have 16. We have 14. And then we have 28. So, I mean, looking at this, we could do, you could do it like this, times 2, right? 5 times 2 is 10. 10 to 8, that's minus 2. 8 to 16, that's times 2. 16 to 14, minus 2. 14 to 28, that's times 2. And then we have minus 2 over here equals 26. And that is answer choice C. And yes, this is alternating operations. So in here, we multiplied by 2, then minus 2. Then again multiplied by 2, then minus 2, and so on and so forth. Our next term in the series, our next number will be 26 times 2 equaling 52, right? 52. Yeah, that would be our next. 26 then 52. So there you go. This one is easy, medium, okay? All you had to do was figure out the pattern, man. That's it. Now, we have another easy, medium, difficult one. What I would do first, again, is just write everything down. 2, 5, 9, 14, 20, question mark. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I want to put the number there. And then we just find, how the relationship between the numbers together. 2 and 5. How do we get from 2 to 5? That is plus 3. How do we get from 5 to 9? Plus 4. How about 9 to 14? Plus 5. How about 14 to 20? Plus 6. Do you see what's happening here? We go plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6. They're increasing. All right. And then the next one, you guessed it, plus 7. That is the next number in this series, 27. These ones are easy. The first 4, maybe the 5th one will be easy. All right. Here's where it gets a little harder. I would say these are medium difficulty. Why? Because there's some negatives and the pattern isn't obvious. Okay. So again, what I would do is just write everything down again. 2, -6, 4, -12, 8, -24. And then from here to here, 2 to -6, that is -8, right? -6 to 4, that is +10, I believe. +10, yeah. 4 to -12. Then when I'm working this out, I'm like, this doesn't look good. This doesn't make sense. If I do the differences between the differences down below, -8 to +12, right? This is +18, and it just doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do this. I would quickly just erase everything and figure out another pattern. And what you will realize is the odd numbers, right? The odd numbers and the even numbers have a pattern. So the odd numbers are here, 1, 3, 5. And then the even numbers in purple, 2, 4, 6. Okay, the next number is going to be part of the odd number sequence, 7. So let's just write the odd numbers down. 2, 4, 8. What's happening here? What is the relationship here? 2 to 4, that's +2. 4 to 8, that is +12. Okay? Oh no, I'm sorry. Went ahead of myself. 4 to 8, that's just +4. And then what's happening here? It could be doubling, It could be doubling where it's 2 times 2 equals 4 times 2 equals 8. Okay, it could be doing that. And then that's 16. And then our number is 16, where it is C. And I think that's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer. Another way to look at it, let me see this. Let me try this out. Is if you know, like, your exponents, right? 2, 1 is like this. And then 2, 2 is like that. Then you have 2, 3, and then 2, 4 equals 16. But I don't know. I don't think that's it. I think the number pattern was like this. Maybe it's just multiply by 2. Oh yeah, it's just multiply by 2. That's it. That's the pattern. See how I just added an extra step? You might do that. You might end up doing that on the test. I end up doing it. So that's proof that even I will do that. But then you find out that the answer is 16. We get the same answer anyway. So 16, there we go. If we want to work out these ones too and find out the next number, which is going to be 8, right? 8 on the sequence, -6, -12, -24. It's actually multiply by 2 again, right? -6, -12, -24. So times 2 times 2 times 2 is -48. But you don't need to know that. Just for the sake of this video, that's what I did. So the next number in the sequence is 16. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Now we got a little bit of difficulty here. We have one where we have like a mixed rule. Okay. So 4, 11, 32, 95. It's not obvious. The pattern is not obvious. It's nothing like we did before. It's like, yeah, it's nothing what we did before. And the traditional method of just finding the differences among the numbers won't work. But let's just try it just to test it out. So 4 to 11, that's plus 7. 11 to 32, that's plus 21. 32 to 95, see, I would do this on the test. I'd be like, oh, what's 95, 32, minus 3, 63, 63. Then I would try to find the differences here, and then it just won't work out, okay? I guess the best way to arm yourself with this is just to know they will throw curveballs like this where you have to have, I think it's called mixed rule. So for this, you would multiply by 3, right? And then minus 1. But you wouldn't know that unless you watched a video like mine or anybody else who's doing problems like this. I said the rule was times 3 minus 1. This is the rule. So let's go ahead and work it out. 4 times 3 equals 12 minus 1 equals 11. That checks out. Let's do it again. 11 times 3 equals 33 minus 1 equals 32. This checks out. Last one. 32 times 3 equals 96 minus 1 equals 95. That checks out. Now we got a hard one. 95 times 3 equals, I don't know how to do that in my head. So I would write this on the side. 5, 1, 285. 285. We're not done yet. You might rush after this, but you remember, have to minus that 1. So you have 284. And then boom, it's right here. Maybe on the test they'll have 285, just to mess with your head. Because you might make the mistake of not adding this part or subtracting the minus 1 or subtracting 1 to get 284. But yes, this is a mixed rule where you have two parts of or just an equation, right? It's not just multiply by 3. It's multiply by 3 and then do something else. You might have it a multiple where it's maybe minus 3 or times 3 minus 1 divided by 2 or something like that. But I I guarantee you won't have something like that. You will have a mixed rule like this, though. Okay, you will have something like this. I remember on the iPrep, there are different types of number sequences to watch out for. And this was one of them where you had a mixed rule. Okay, next question. Okay, this one, you got to know fractions. Okay, it's getting hard. Okay, it's getting harder. So I would write everything down. But would I write everything down? I mean, what I could get from this, right? 1/4, I guess, okay, let's just write everything down. 64, 1, 256, right? What I could get from this is how do I mean, these look familiar, right? These are all like, what is it called? The power of 4 of, like, you know, so you have something like this. I don't know the term. I'm sorry, guys. I'm blanking out. But you have like 4 to the power of 1 equals 4, right? 4 to the power of 2 equals 16, or 4 squared equals 16. 4 cubed equals 64, okay? 4 to the power of 4 equals 256. And then 4 to the power of 5 equals 256 times 4 times, so 4, 2, 2, 2, 10, 24, 10, 24. And that's it. 1, 10, 24. And that's C. So that's how I would have figured it out, okay? Another problem that's just like this, could be 1/3, and then 1 to the 9, then 1 to the 27, and then I don't know what the next one is, but you have like 3 to the power 1 equals 3. 3 to the power of 2 equals 9. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. What's 3 to the 4? It's just 27 times 3. Times 3 equals 1, 2, that's 6, 81. 80, oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't know that, but 81. I think the harder one is 3 to the 5th, and it's 81 times 3, and then you would just figure that out. Another way to look at this is you just divide everything by 4. So 1 to the 4 to get 1 to the 16th is 1/4 divided by 4. And if you know the rule about dividing, it's just multiplication. 1 divided by 4 is just going to be 1/4 times 1/4. You just flip the equation and then you multiply, and it's 1/16. That's how it works. Did you get that? I don't think you got that. Let me just do it again for you. So 1/4 divide by 4. Okay? How you divide is you have to flip this over. You have to flip this. So it's going to be 1/4. You flip it, so it's multiplication. And then 4, when you get 4 and you're multiplying it, or like when you get a whole number and you're multiplying it with a fraction, it's like 4/1. So then when I say flip it, you're going to flip the orientation of this to multiply it. You're just literally flipping it. So now you have 1/4. And then you multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. And that's how we got that. Now let's work it again and divide by 4. So 1/16 divide by 4. And then just for the sake of the video, 4/1 equals, and I'm going to put this arrow there like that because I want to show you that we're flipping the sign. 1/16 times 1 over 4. And then we just multiply across. We get 1, and then 16 times 4. Okay, that's a hard one to do in my head, to be honest, but this is something you should know. 16 times 4 is 64. And then you keep doing it, right? 1 over 64. And then I'm just going to skip the step about dividing and just multiply 1 over 4 equals 1 over 256. And then lastly is the 1 over 256 times 1 over 4, and that equals 1, 10, 24. So you could do this and divide each term by 4, and then you'll figure out that you're going to get the same answer here. Or you can know the power, right? So the power of 4 and what they equal. 4 over 1 equals 4 over 2 equals 4 over 3 equals. You got to know those. 5 over 1, 5 over 2, 5 to the power of 2, 5 to the power of 3, 5 to the power of 4. You have to know these. 9 to the power of 1, 9 to the power of 2, and then like 9 to the power of 3, then it gets a little complicated there. But these ones definitely will be on the test. Like 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3. Those will definitely be on the test. So I want you to spend extra time on question 7 and just write all the powers of everything and kind of memorize it. You remember your times tables in elementary school, and you had to do multiplication, addition, and all that stuff really fast? Like, do that with yourself with these. 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 5 equals, and then just write it down really quick. What is the next number of the following series? Okay, so this one could be hard. And I did put this as hard, but it's not really hard just looking at it, okay? Just from looking at it, I could see that there's a pattern here on the even numbers or the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, and then we're trying to figure out 7. And then the even numbers are here, 2, 4, 6. And then if we write the odd numbers down, -3, -6, -9, do we see what's happening here? Do we see the pattern here? 3, 6, 9. The next number would be -12. Okay. And then we see the odd numbers, 2, or not odd, even numbers, 2, 1, 0. They're decreasing by 1. And then the next next number in the sequence would be -1. But we just need to find this one. So -12. They're 2 interwoven sequences into one. Okay, and you just need to find and identify the one that matters, which are the odd numbers. This may be confusing because there's negatives, and I would be intimidated by negatives. I don't like negatives. Okay, next question. What is the next number in the following series of numbers? Okay, this one is tricky. This one has a curveball. Again, let's write everything down. 3, -1. So finding the difference between the terms, we have this to this. This is negative, not negative. Is it negative? Yeah, it's negative. -4. And you're like, okay. Let me get from here to here. And that also is -4. And then from here to here, that is -5. But then from here to here, this is a 50. You're like, wait, it's -40? How do you, and then from here to here, it's -5. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? There's no apparent pattern there. Okay, I would erase everything, start all over again. And this is all I got. 3 to -1 is -4. And then -1 to -5, let me try multiplying. So times +5. Okay, that works. And let me just do this, and this is minus 5, right? It could be, we could say, maybe times 2, right? And then negative 10 to negative 5 to negative 50, negative 10 to negative 50, that's times 5. But then times 2 doesn't work here, right? So then we erase that, and we're like, okay, maybe it's not times 2. And then we see here it's negative 5. And again here, negative 5 to negative 10, negative 5. And then we found the pattern. Okay, the next number in the sequence would be multiply by 5 times 5. Okay, and then 55 times 5, 5 to 27, carry the negative, negative 275, and that's B. And this is a curveball because you have this right here. And you're wondering, why isn't this part of the sequence? But they're going to do that to you. The test people, the aptitude test will have something like this. I've seen this before, where the first term will throw you off to find a pattern, but then the pattern happens after the first term. This one definitely was a hard one. So now let's move on to 9. What is the next number in the following series of numbers? So we have here 4, 7, just write everything down again, 11, 18, 29. Okay. So we see here it's plus 3. 4 to 7 is plus 3. 7 to 11 is plus 4. And then 11 to 18 is, what is 11 to 18? Plus 7. And then 18 to 29 is plus 11. Now, there's no apparent pattern here. The pattern actually happens on this level, right here. So let's go ahead and do this in orange. Plus 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4, right? 3 to 4 is 7, which is this number. 4 to 7 is 11, which is this number. 7 to 11 is 18, which is the next number in the sequence, 18. And then 18 goes right here, 29 plus 18, 29 plus 18, 7, 1, 47. 47 is the next number in this sequence. So it's C. So this one is hard because you have to find the differences in the first series, right? Find the difference right here. And then you'll identify that these numbers added up equals the next number. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 4 plus 7 equals 11. 7 plus 11 equals 18. Take this 18, or add it by 29 to get the next term. So there you go. I believe I practice every type of way to solve these number series with a few curveballs. The only difference between what I'm doing and what you will experience is you will be timed and you will be stressed because of the time. Okay? So do your best to recognize patterns now by working out these problems multiple times. Okay? And then I do recommend, if you have ChatGPT Plus, you feed my questions in ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to increase the difficulty, and keep solving problems. You want to get the most reps in. Guys, if you haven't realized, I play video games too as well. So once you're taking a break from the algebra and the functions, make sure to check out my gaming stuff, okay? I'd appreciate that. I do algebra, I teach algebra, and I play video games. I hope you guys found this educational and helpful. Leave a like, please, so other people just like you could practice number sequences and also pass the aptitude test, and also not pay a dime for any courses, because I am doing my best to give this all to you for free. And also let me know if there are any problems that you want me to work out for the next video. Marky Up Baby out. I will see you on the next video. Bye.